Ever wonder how the universe went from, well, nothing to something? Today, we're taking a deep dive, into the Yoruba creation myth.
Okay.
Specifically, this Odu Ifa in Osagunleya.
Right.
It's a story, that's been passed down through generations.
Yeah.
A fascinating blend of, spiritual understanding and, dare I say, some seriously epic imagery.
Yeah, I mean, what we're talking about here is more than just a once upon a time, you know.
Yeah.
The Odu Ifa is a really complex system of knowledge,
Okay.
a way of understanding our place in the universe, right?
Yeah.
And this particular Odu, it lays out this entire creation in these 5 distinct phases.
So it's like a cosmic recipe, basically, and we're about to break down each ingredient.
Yeah.
We're talking like the dawn of existence, the birth of stars, and even a bit of celestial real estate we'll get into.
Yeah, and if you're already a little familiar with Yoruba cosmology,
right?
You know that divine beings, they play a huge role. They're called Orúnmila, and we'll be meeting quite a few of them today.
Oh yeah, we've got a whole cast of characters to get through. But first up, we've got to address the elephant in the room, or rather, the indescribable force in the universe. We're talking about Akamara.
Yeah.
It's not a god you pray to. It's like the energy behind everything.
It's like, imagine the source of all creation.
Right.
The catalyst that set the universe in motion. That's Akamara.
And in this Odu, the story starts with Akamara creating a single grain of sand. But here's where it gets good. Akamara breathes into the sand. And boom, cosmic explosion. Suddenly you've got cosmic dust, swarming gases, the raw material for, well, everything.
It's such a powerful image.
Oh, yeah.
And it leads us to our first iron mole, Oregon.
Okay.
Now, Oregon's got a pretty big job. Take all those cosmic gases and shape them into the very first stars.
Okay, pause for a second. We're talking about a universe of stars.
I know.
Coming from a single grain of sand.
Yeah.
That's some next level creation right there.
And here's where it gets even more interesting.
Okay.
The Odu. It makes it clear that this creation, it isn't just a one-time event.
Oh, okay.
Stars are still being formed today.
Wow.
It's this ongoing process, echoing that initial act of creation.
It really makes you think about those, twinkling lights in the night sky a bit differently, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally.
But before we get too lost in the vastness of space, we've got to address the heat. And I'm not talking about a warm summer day.
Right.
I'm talking newly formed stars blazing with intense energy.
It's a chaotic, fiery scene.
Yeah.
And that's where our next iron mole, Oluiwe, he steps in. His crucial role, cooling those stars down.
Oh.
Bringing the universe to a more manageable temperature.
So, you can't exactly build a house on a foundation of molten lava, right? You need things to, cool down and solidify first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's fascinating how this ancient story kind of aligns with, modern science.
Oh, okay.
We know that stars form from collapsing gas clouds, burn incredibly hot, and then they gradually, cool over billions of years.
Right.
It's almost as if the myth foresaw this whole scientific process.
It makes you wonder what else these stories might, reveal.
I know, right?
But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
We've got stars, they're cooling down, but things are about to get a little chaotic.
Uh-oh.
I'm talking cosmic collisions, a celestial mosh pit of epic proportions.
Yes, the Odu calls it the War of the Stars.
Oh, wow.
And it's not exactly a peaceful time, let me tell you.
All right.
These newly formed stars, they're moving so erratically, bumping into each other, creating these massive explosions.
Not exactly the kind of stability you need for, planets and life to emerge.
Right, exactly.
Thankfully, we've got Baba Asmiyogun Sunwon entering the scene.
Yeah, our hero.
Baba Asmiyogun Sunwon is another really powerful iron mole.
Okay.
And he's tasked with bringing order to this cosmic chaos. His solution: setting the stars and planets into their anti-clockwise rotation.
Oh, wow.
The very same movement we still observe in the universe today.
Talk about an impressive feat.
Right.
He literally set the universe in motion, creating the balance that allows for, everything else to exist.
Yeah.
But while all of this is happening, there's one crucial iron mole we haven't even talked about yet.
Right.
She's been given dominion over Earth. or as it's known in the Yoruba language, Ili.
Ili, yes.
And trust me, her story is about to get very, very interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Remember those 801 iron mole you mentioned earlier?
Yes.
Well, I is just one of them.
Oh, right. Each tasked with governing a different aspect of the solar system. It's a reminder that the Yoruba cosmos is teeming with these powerful beings, each with their own role to play, but we're just getting started.
Oh, this is just the beginning.
The story of creation doesn't end with stars and planets.
Yeah.
The real drama unfolds when we zoom in on Ili, on Earth, where I's story and ultimately ours is about to begin. Last time we left off with this beautifully ordered universe, and I, this powerful iron mole, all alone on this still kind of developing Earth.
It makes you wonder, like, what was she thinking? Imagine inheriting a whole planet, right?
Right.
All this potential for life bubbling beneath the surface, but like no one to share it with.
Talk about a case of cosmic loneliness. What does she do?
Yeah.
She turns to one of the oldest forms of wisdom we have, divination. She consults Orúnmila,
of course,
the iron mole, associated with wisdom and yes, divination.
Yes, divination, exactly.
And it's Orúnmila who suggests this really powerful act, this way to kind of petition the universe for guidance and help in shaping Ili.
Okay.
And this act is called Igbo.
Right.
And it's far more than just a casual offering,
Right.
Igbo is about aligning yourself with like the flow of creation, demonstrating your commitment to like the unfolding of destiny.
And from Igbo,
yes,
this being of immense power and radiance emerges, Olôdumare.
Okay.
The supreme deity in your cosmology.
Now, the name Olôdumare, it's often translated as the one who brings the rainbow's light. I mean, can you imagine that?
Yeah.
This being whose very presence is just like awe-inspiring.
Totally.
But there is this one detail about Olôdumare that always kind of gets me.
Okay.
You're talking about the fact that, according to the Odu, Olôdumare is unable to have children.
Yeah.
It seems like such a, curious detail in a creation myth.
Right.
What's the significance there?
So it's not just a random fact.
Okay.
It's a metaphor, like woven into the very fabric of existence.
Okay.
You see, in the Yoruba worldview, rainfall,
Right.
it isn't just rain.
Okay.
It's seen as a manifestation of Olodumare's longing for children.
Wow.
Tears of creation nourishing the earth.
Okay, that's got to be one of the most beautiful and heartbreaking descriptions of rain I've ever heard.
It's beautiful.
So we've got Olôdumare, this supreme being whose longing nourishes the earth, but I is still pretty empty at this point.
Yeah.
Who are the first residents?
Okay, so before like humans enter the picture,
Right.
Olôdumare creates a different group of beings.
Okay.
They're also referred to as like Enyen in some accounts, but they're not quite like us.
Okay.
These Enyen, they possess like extraordinary powers, both spiritual and practical.
Sounds promising.
Yeah.
So what happened? Why aren't we living in a world with like these superpowered Enyen?
So here's the catch. Great power doesn't always come with great responsibility.
Oh, no.
These early Enyen, unfortunately, they let their power go to their heads.
Oh no, this is starting to sound ominously familiar.
Yeah.
Are we heading for like a flood myth situation here?
It seems even in the Yoruba creation myth,
Yeah.
the universe has a way of like hitting the reset button when needed.
So last we left off,
Yeah.
things weren't looking so great for those early Enyen.
No, not so much.
Let me guess. Olôdumare decides a little tough love is in order.
Yeah. You could say that
Okay.
the Odu describes a world submerged in water,
Right.
a consequence, of those first beings misusing their powers.
Yeah.
It's a classic flood myth setup for sure.
Right.
Echoing stories found in like cultures across the globe.
It's interesting though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like the idea that even in a creation story, there's this acknowledgement of destruction,
Right.
of things like going wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes this mythology so powerful. It doesn't shy away from the complexities of existence,
Right.
even on a cosmic scale.
Yeah.
But what's important here, it's not just the destruction,
Right.
but what comes after.
The rebuilding, the second chances.
Exactly.
Yeah. And who better to lead the charge than another iron mole?
Right. This is where Odudua enters the scene.
Okay.
He's often associated with the creation of land.
Right.
And in this Odu, he's given this massive task of like literally reshaping the world.
I've always been fascinated by Oduduwa. He's such a central figure in Yoruba mythology, especially when it comes to like kingship and the origins of the Yoruba people.
Absolutely. And this Odu adds like another layer to his story
Right.
with this whole cosmic real estate deal.
Oh, right. I'd almost forgotten about that little detail.
Yeah.
Didn't he like sell the entire solar system for a song?
Well, not quite a song, but close.
Okay.
The Odu says Ayin traded the entire solar system to Oduwa
What?
for the skull of an animal.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
A skull.
A skull.
That seems like a raw deal, even by like cosmic standards.
It does make you wonder what Ayin was thinking, right?
Yeah.
But there's a theory that this exchange explains why Yoruba cosmology includes 9 planets
Okay.
instead of the original 7. You know that deal with Ayin? It added 2 more to Oduduwa's cosmic portfolio.
Okay, that's one way to explain it.
Right.
I have to ask, where does this leave I?
Yeah.
Her son just traded away her domain.
It's a good question. And the Odu doesn't really offer like a clear answer.
Okay.
But it's interesting to note that even after this cosmic exchange,
All right.
Earth is still referred to as Iali, her domain.
Right.
It suggests a connection that even a bad real estate deal can't sever.
That's a comforting thought.
Right.
But enough about planets and real estate. I want to get to the good stuff.
Okay.
Where do humans finally enter the picture?
Ah, yes. The main characters of our story,
Right.
this time around Olôdumare, he takes a more like a hands-on approach.
Ah.
Forget spontaneous generation,
Right.
right? We're talking like molded from clay, infused with a divine spark, the whole 9 yards.
So how does it work?
Yeah.
Does Olôdumare create like one human blueprint and call it a day?
Not quite.
Okay.
The Odu describes other Irunmol lending their expertise to the process.
Okay.
You've got Ogun, the Orúnmila of iron, shaping the skeletal structure.
Uh-huh.
Obatala, associated with creation and purity, molds the human form.
Right.
And of course, Orúnmila, the wise one, consults Ifa to like ensure everything aligns with destiny.
A true team effort.
Right.
But how does the Odu explain like the diversity of humanity,
Mm-hmm.
different ethnicities, appearances? How does that all fit in?
This is where things get even more interesting.
Okay.
The Odu mentions another Irunmol, Oluyorogbo, who, along with some others, decides to create more humans.
Okay.
But this time, white ones.
Oh, okay.
And then there's Aiden Belaje,
Okay.
the mischievous monkey who, let's just say, gets a little carried away
Uh-oh.
and is said to be responsible for physical differences and deformities.
Okay, now that's a new take on human variation.
Right.
But I have to ask, are we all on the same continent at this point?
Okay.
Or is this like pre-Pangea?
You're spot on with the Pangea reference.
Okay.
Yoruba cosmology actually includes this concept of a single landmass
Okay.
where all humans initially live together.
Okay.
And just like in our scientific understanding of like continental drift,
Right.
this landmass eventually breaks apart,
Yeah.
separating humanity into different corners of the world.
It's these little echoes of scientific understanding that like blow my mind.
I know, it's really cool.
It makes you wonder what else these ancient stories might eliminate.
Yeah.
But we're nearing the end of our deep dive here.
Okay.
What does this final phase like hold for humanity?
Yeah.
Are we destined to repeat the mistakes of those first Enneam?
It's the question, isn't it?
Right.
And the Odu, it offers both a warning and a message of hope.
Okay.
It acknowledges the potential for destruction,
Right.
the possibility of humanity faltering,
Yeah.
even causing another great flood.
Right.
But it also presents this vision of a future where we learn from the past,
Okay.
embrace balance, and live in harmony with all beings.
So it's not like a prophecy,
Right.
but a choice.
A choice,
Yeah.
a reminder that we have the power to shape our destiny.
It's an inspiring thought to end on, don't you think?
Absolutely, and perhaps it's a good reminder to look up at the night sky every now and then.
Yeah.
Remember those ancient stories and think about the choices we're making here on Iali.
I love that.